Hi everyone, it's Rachel, and in this video I'll be showing you how I edit my polymer clay photos to post on my social media or to use as thumbnails for my videos. I know that everyone will have a different style that they like to have on their photos, but today I'll be talking you through how I get my photos from this to this. So firstly, actually taking the picture, I set up my Canon 70D camera on my tripod next to my bedroom window for natural lighting, which is what I use for all my photos because they turn out so much nicer than using artificial lighting. You could definitely also use just your phone camera because even the quality on those these days is really good. I then take the charm I'm wanting to photograph as well as a sheet of scrapbooking paper which I use for the background. I usually have a selection to choose from and I pick one that will best complement the colours and style of the charm. I go ahead and take some shots with a few different angles and then it's time to edit. So because my photo aesthetic is quite warm, bright and colourful, the things I always focus on when editing are the curves, brightness, shadows, saturation, sharpness, adding a lens flare and also adding text as a watermark. In this particular video, I'll be showing you how to edit your photos using 4 different programs: Photoshop Touch, Photoshop Express, Gimp and Pixlr. First up is Photoshop Touch, which is an app that Photoshop unfortunately discontinued and you can no longer buy, but it is the one that I use the most, so I thought I would show you anyway so you can get an idea of the elements that I change. So when editing a photo, the first thing I always change are the curves, and this is what makes my photos look much more pastel, I guess you would say, by slightly pulling up the lower side of the bar. I then always adjust the brightness slightly, but you don't want to do this too much, otherwise it washes out a lot of detail. To then brighten the colour back into the photo, I then go into saturation and increase the intensity until I'm happy with how it looks. If you're wanting to take away some of that extra darkness from the shadows, you can do that by selecting the shadows and highlights and increasing the shadows percentage. I then increase the intensity of the sharpness to help make the picture clearer and bring back some of that detail lost through editing. Because I also like to add an extra focal point of light, I simply select lens flare and then add it off to the side of my photo where the light is coming from. And finally, when I edit my polymer clay photos, I usually add some small text with my Instagram username next to or on the charm to avoid the image being stolen online. So this is what the image ended up turning out like, and then here is the original next to the new one, so you can see what a difference such simple editing can make to a photo. Next up, I'm showing you Photoshop Express, which is a free download from the App Store, and this is what Photoshop used to replace the Touch app. Although this one isn't quite as advanced and is missing some features like curves and lens flare that I do really like to add, it still is really a great app for quick editing and it's super easy to use with very similar results as well. Next up is Gimp, which is a free program you can download from their website if you search it up on Google. I've found that Gimp is very similar to Photoshop in terms of the photo elements I've been editing, like the brightness, saturation, sharpness, and it even has curves and a lens flare feature, which is great. The only thing it seems to be missing is the shadows and highlights tool, which to be honest isn't really a huge deal anyway. As I was filming this video, this is one of my first times using the program, and again I found it really easy to navigate and find everything. I'll probably be using it again, and I would recommend it if you prefer editing on a laptop or desktop computer rather than on your phone. And then the last program I have to show you is quite similar to Photoshop and Gimp, and it's called Pixlr. So with this one you can actually edit the photos online, so you don't have to download anything. You just have to open up the image that you want to use and then start editing. The only feature I found that this one doesn't have that I like to use are the shadows and also the lens flare, which again isn't a huge deal, but I do like to add it onto my photos. So there you have it. That is how I edit my polymer clay photos using curves, brightness, saturation, shadows, sharpness, and a lens flare. These are some other examples of photos I have edited the same way, and you can see that such small changes can make such a big difference to a photo. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys!